welcome to another edition of News 6. I'm Mark Coverly. Today's show is presented by Mr. Phil Long's 6th grade class from East Elementary in Celina, Ohio. Our program today will show you our different activities at our school, but with our first story, Jill will tell you about a famous area business.
Merseman Tables manufactures what else? Tables. To date, Merseman has made close to 3 million tables while enjoying a fine reputation of quality. Eric Meadema interviewed Mr. Ed Jute about this business. When did Merseman's begin?
Merseman's was founded actually here in Celina in 1900. It started out originally as a sawmill in Otterville, Ohio, and then the city of Celina encouraged Mr. Merseman to relocate here, and they gave him a little bit of incentive to bring his company here, and so he founded it in 1900 at the site where it's located now.
How do you know when to design tables?
Well, that's a pretty tough question, Harry, because tables are basically designed to fit people's needs, and their needs change, what they like, their tastes, and so on. So what you really do, you try to look around and see whatever is popular, what kind of lifestyle has a lot to do with it. And we've got designers on our staff that design tables, and they may design 5, 6, 7, 8 different styles before one of them really catches on. So it's pretty much of it takes a lot of trial and error. And then, hopefully you get a good one. You may produce 10 of them, and one of them finally goes, and that's the one you go with. So it's pretty hard to do, just to say, okay, I'm going to design this, and that's it.
How many tables do you make per day?
Well, that kind of varies, because it depends on what you make. If you make a nice simple table, an end table or something like that doesn't have too many parts to it, you can make maybe from 800 to 1,000 a day. If you make the bigger tables or curio cabinets where you put china and then china things and decorated items like that and have a lot of parts to them, those you may only make, maybe 250 or 300 a day, or anywhere between those two numbers. It just depends what group you make and how many parts there are and how difficult it is to make.
Who decides if they like the tables or not?
Well, I guess mostly you, the people, the consumer, the public that buys the tables. Like I said, we try to design some tables that we feel the public will buy, something that they will like. So if you get something good, just like a car, people like it, they'll buy it.
Merseman Tables is currently manufacturing occasional tables, correlated wall units, and couriers. In our next story, Leslie will tell you how our school helps the needy in our area.
Have you ever gone home to find no food in the house? That is what some people in Mercer County come home to, no food. But our East Elementary Student Council has organized a food drive for those needy people. Scott Voisin talked to Richard Riedel about this activity.
How did Fast Food for Friends get started?
It started as an idea in the Student Council at East Elementary here in Celina, and they thought there probably should be some project by which they can help the needy. And so Mrs. Diane Westgerdes, who is the counselor for the Student Council, called the various organizations here who help the poor, and they decided there was a real need, and that's the way the project started. And the students went out and gathered the food, and it has helped the needy.
Did this activity provide a lot of food for needy people?
Yes, it surely did. We were very much surprised when we went out to pick it up at the school, how many cans it did collect. And there are people who come to our doors for food, and this has been a great service to them. It has provided a lot of food for them.
Did you give the food to a certain group of people in Mercer County?
Not a particular group. We don't pick out a particular group. We only distribute it to people who come to our doors. In other words, they realize that we do have a food pantry here, and they are sent here by various organizations or churches, and they come, and so it's not a particular group or a particular area that we single out. It's just people who come and ask for it. They receive the food.
Did you think this was a good activity? Why or why not?
Oh, it is a very good activity. That first of all, you serve a great need here in the area, and I think it makes you, as young people, very much aware of our concern for other people. makes you aware that there are other people out there who need food, and it's a tremendous service that you have done for those people.
How do you make the public aware that you have canned goods for distribution?
That is kind of a interesting question. I often wondered how they do know that we are here. Some way or another they find out about it, and the other service organizations here in the city do recommend them here, and they tell them go over to IC Food Pantry. They probably have something for you, and it seems that's the way people find out, by being recommended by other organizations.
Our school is very proud of this activity, and Nick will tell us about another fun activity we are proud of in our school.
At our school, every year for the past 3 years, we have a ciphering contest. Ciphering is figuring out mathematical problems, which the students try to figure out as fast as they can. Melissa McKernan talked to Mr. Rich Stein about this school activity.
The ciphering match gets started.
When I was a little kid, I used to really enjoy math contests in the classroom, and then in talking with my mother, who used to compete in ciphering contests in Dark County, always wanted to try it. And I'd experimented in another school system with different methods, but we never really finalized anything. And then about 3 years ago, we talked about it seriously here at Celina, and some of the principals had remembered their times in school and some of the ciphering matches they had. And they have differing formats, they have different ways of doing it, and we finally picked a style, and we thought we'd give it a shot. So we went with one style, and 3 years ago we tried it.
Did the ciphering match run smoothly this year?
Well, not quite so smoothly as the year before. I think the second year was probably the smoothest because we made a concerted effort to get all the bugs out. This year, I think in one of the grade levels, I think it was 6th grade, and we give them the toughest problems, don't forget, that a couple of the pairs of kids just simply would get hung up on a problem occasionally. And that didn't happen very often, but it did happen. And so we have to be aware that we'll have to put a time limitation and just simply run another problem.
Was the competitive spirit higher this year?
I think that stays the same. That's very high. We find that, in fact, I noticed one boy last year even started crying during the contest. He was so frustrated, you know, that he'd gotten beat a couple times. So the spirit is very high.
How do you select a winner in a tie situation?
Give them another problem. If we have a tie at the end of the contest, you see they have to win 2 out of 3 in a regular round as they're in a regular competition. So if a student wins the first one, he'll make a little mark on the board next to his name or something.
How did the judges deal with the sloppy handwriting?
I asked the judge about that recently, and he said that they simply asked the student, what's that number, or to rewrite it, just to put it down again.
We think our next activity is just as fun as the ciphering contest because we get to eat. Andrea tells us about it.
During a couple days in February, the 6th grade classes at East Elementary somewhat resembled the United Nations. This is because the international dinners were held on these days. The students did reports on different countries and hosted special programs according to their country. Parents were given short lessons in a foreign language, and students sang songs and played games of their country. Food from the various countries was served, and we think the dinner was a success.
Thank you for joining us. Be here next week when 6th grade students from Fort Jennings Elementary in Fort Jennings, Ohio will present the last News 6 show of the year. Have a nice week.